Can you see the screen? Please confirm when you see the screen.
Yes,
Is it
ma'am.
clear? Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so earlier I had explained you what is interview, then what is interview skills, the different types of interview, then different types of interview questions, then strategies and secrets of interview skills. Then I had also shown you how to write a resume. I had also explained you the difference between resume and CV and biodata, and also uh, explained you how to prepare for an interview. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt regarding the topics related to interview that I have completed? Is there any doubt? Okay, so if you have any kind of doubt, then you can definitely ask me. And I had also shared the notes with you all. So I again repeat it that please go through the notes. And yes, today I will be explaining you what are the do's and don'ts of an interview. So what you should do and what you should totally avoid when you go for an interview. So before this, I just want to let you know that the purpose of an interview is twofold. Now, what does twofold means? Twofold means the employer can ask you questions and you too get an opportunity to ask questions and you too get an opportunity to assess whether your qualifications and career ambitions align with the position or not. So that is why the purpose of an interview is said to be twofold. That means from both the sides, both the parties, they have some kind of purpose. The interviewer, the organization, the employer, they want to know that whether you are eligible for the particular organization or position or not. And you also have the right to check whether your qualifications and your ambitions align with the position or not. So that is why it is said that the purpose of an interview is always twofold. Alright, the interviewer also has a purpose and the interviewee, the candidate also has a purpose. Alright. Now moving ahead, do's and don'ts of an interview. So first of all, I'm going to discuss about do's of an interview. So what you should do, when you go for an interview or when you sit for any interview. Try to decrease your stress. Remind yourself that the interview will be more of a conversation rather than an interrogation. Okay, so this is one of the most important thing that you should remember, that it's not an interrogation. You are not sitting in front of a police officer. The police officer is not going to interrogate you. You are not a criminal. So you will not be interrogated. Okay? Rather, you will be asked few questions just to see whether your qualities, your qualifications align with the requirement of the organization or not. So do not take it as an interrogation. Rather than take it as a conversation, because you have to converse with the interviewer, you have to interact with the interviewer. So you remind about this particular thing, and this is going to decrease your stress. All right, this is going to definitely decrease your stress. So before any kind of interview, we get stressed. So that's very normal. Stress is a very normal sign, and you should not be, think that it's normal or something like that. No, it's something very normal. It happens to every human being, even the experienced people also, feels a little bit of stress before interview. So it's very normal, but it should not hamper your interview. It should be minimal. It should not be too much that the stress has hampered your interview. You're not able to talk, you're not able to have a conversation with the interviewer during the interview because you're too stressed. That should not be the situation. And you can practice a lot of ways to decrease stress of an interview. And main one of the major ways of letting your stress go is to remind yourself that it is going to be a conversation. It's basically a conversation between you and the interviewer, where you and the interviewer is going to discuss about your qualification, your skills, your knowledge, the requirement of the organization, and do not feel that it's an interrogation. All right. So this is the first and the foremost thing that you should take care of when you uh, go for an interview. Next is to prepare some anecdotes. Now, what are anecdotes? Anecdotes are stories related to your life. Okay, related to your life, related to anything that can show your interest, that can show your skill, that can show your skills. All right. So you can prepare that kind of a story. You can prepare that kind of a story, and if you get the opportunity, then of course you can express that story. Of course you can narrate that story. Of course you can express that part of your life in order to impress the interviewer, in order to like in order to help yourself to get that particular job. So that is why you can prepare some anecdotes, some stories related to your experiences, interests, skills, so that you can demonstrate that particular story, you can narrate that particular story, which is going to help you to get that particular job. Okay. So, and remember one thing, it should definitely, align with the position and the requirement of the organization. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं कि कुछ भी स्टोरी बोल दिया. ठीक है, ऐसा स्टोरी बोलना चाहिए, ऐसा इंसिडेंट बताना चाहिए जो कि मैच करता है तुम्हारा जो पोजीशन है. ठीक है, कुछ भी स्टोरी उठा के बोल दिया तो नहीं. ठीक है, वैसा नहीं होगा. तो योर स्टोरी हैज़ टू डेफिनेटली align with the requirement of the organization. Otherwise कुछ काम का नहीं होगा story. ठीक है, for example अगर if you're asked that tell me about an incident where you had tell me about an incident which you had overcome. Okay, which you had overcome. So here, if this question is asked to you, then definitely you get an opportunity to describe about a situation which you had successfully overcome. So prepare these kind of stories, so that if you get the opportunity, so that if that kind of question is asked, so that you can tell. Okay. Next is to arrive 10 minutes early. So it can be 10 minutes, it can be 20 minutes, but try to arrive early. Do not be late. Try to arrive early. Okay. And arrive early does not mean that you'll just go and wait for 2 hours. No. If you are given a time that if you're given a particular time, you can just arrive 10 minutes or 20 minutes earlier, but not more than that. It's not required. If you just go instead of 10, if you reach at 8, so that is just wastage of time. So that you're not supposed to do that as well. So you must definitely arrive early in order to adjust to the surroundings, in order to calm yourself down, in order to decrease your stress, in order to help yourself to gain that particular confidence that is required for the interview. So that is why it is suggested to arrive early, but doesn't mean that you will go there before 1 hour or 2 hours. All right, never be late, because that's not a good way of starting uh, a relationship. If if you get that particular job, you'll definitely have a relationship with that company, and of course arriving late is not a good sign. So that is why do not be late. Being late also increases your stress. You will be tensed, you will be stressed, so and that is going to definitely ruin your interview. So that is why do not be late. Instead of that, try to arrive a little earlier. All right. Next is to check your appearance. So you have to definitely check yourself before you go to the venue. Okay, before you go for the interview. Why you have to check? Because you must look good. I had already mentioned that you have to look good. Now, look good. Again, I'm repeating that it doesn't have uh, any kind of relationship with your shape, size, color. No, looking good means to wear formal clothes, to look confident, to look groomed, clean. Okay, so you must check your hair, teeth, clothes, your nails, and everything. You must check yourself whether you're looking professional, whether you're looking formal or not. All right. Next is to shaking hand is a good manner. So you can definitely shake hand with the people you meet during the interview. Then choose to sit in a chair rather than on a couch for better interview posture. So if there's a couch and there's a chair, okay, do not sit on the couch. Why? Because the couch will not uh, will not help you to portray a good posture. Okay, because it's fluffy and all, so that is why choose to sit in a chair rather than on a couch and sit properly. And if you shake hand with somebody, rise from your chair. Okay, if you're sitting if you're sitting, and if you meet somebody and you're greeting that person, just get up and just get up from your chair and shake hand with that particular person. Try to present yourself professionally. Try to answer to the questions directly, and also be sure of what you are answering. There should not be any doubt. You should not be doubtful regarding your answers. You should definitely answer confidently in a professional manner. You should definitely look confident, but again, I would be saying that overconfidence is something that is harmful, that is not at all necessary. Shouldn't talk too much. Definitely you must have a conversation with the interviewer, but you are not supposed to just keep on talking. You're not so, because you're not chatting with the interviewer, isn't it? It's an interview. It's an interview, so you're not supposed to chat, you're not supposed to gossip or something like that. But you definitely need to communicate, interact with the interviewer, but make sure that you sound confident and formal and professional, and try to answer to the questions directly. Do not keep on asking a lot of questions. You will definitely get the opportunity to ask questions if you have any kind of doubt, and if you want to know something about the company or the organization, you'll definitely get that opportunity. But do not keep on interrupting or asking questions. Do not use any kind of negative language when discussing a previous work experience. So this is also another important part. If you had earlier worked somewhere, so do not use any kind of negative statements for that particular organization. Okay, try to portray it in a positive manner, because if you try to use a negative language for your previous company, then that means that you're not loyal to your company, so chances are that you won't be selected. So that is why never use any kind of negative language regarding your previous company. All right. So a good facial expression is very important. So you should definitely make eye contact, nod occasionally to indicate your understanding and agreement, and there must be a smile on your face. Smile doesn't mean, again, I'm saying that smile doesn't mean you have to show your 32 teeth. No, you just have to maintain a good facial expression. You should not look stressed or disinterested. You should not look like that. You should definitely look interested. You should definitely maintain eye contact, not occasionally. And if you are there in a panel interview, if you're sitting in a panel interview, then you should maintain eye contact with each and every individual, each and every interviewer, and that's how you will be able to get the particular job. The next thing is to dress appropriately. Of course, you have to dress professionally, you have to dress appropriately, you have to dress formally. Okay, so for that, you have to buy yourself a pair of formal trousers, then a shirt. So you, if you don't have, then you have to definitely buy now for your interview. So that's a kind of an investment that you make, and that you make for your future. Okay, so do not just feel like that it's an expense or something like that. It's actually not an expense. Rather than that, it's an investment. It's kind of an investment. When you buy yourself a dress, a formal pair, a formal dress, when you buy yourself a formal dress, that's basically an investment rather than expenditure. Why? Because you can use that particular dress for a lot of other interviews as well, and also in the future when you'll start working. So that is why it's an investment. Listen to the interviewer carefully. So you have to definitely be a good listener, be an active listener, concentrate whatever the interviewer is saying, and also concentrate on the on his or her tone of voice and body language. You must not only concentrate on his or her words. Along with that, you must also concentrate on the non-verbal communication part. That means facial expressions, body language, tone of voice, rate of speech, and everything. All right, and then you'll be able to uh, understand the interviewer, and will be able to answer to the interviewer's question properly. And do not just say yes or no. Try to try to elaborate the answers at times. All the time it's not necessary, because generally the interviews are for 10 to 15 minutes at max. I know, like 20 minutes, but not more than that. Sometimes if sometimes you might also face an 1 hour interview as well, but that's a rare case. Generally it's for 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes not even 15 to 20 minutes, just 10 minutes enough. So that is why you cannot just keep on telling about stories. Uh, just try to tell the specific details which is related to the organization. Again I'm repeating, whenever you answer, Whenever you answer to any of the questions, make sure that each and every answer is related to the requirement of the company, to the organization's mission and vision, to the requirement of that particular position. And in that way, you will definitely be able to grab that particular job. So these are some of the do's, these are some of the things that you should definitely do when you go for an interview. Any doubts, students?